You have to be able to give someone grace and compassion because they only know what they only know. Hello, welcome to the Intuition Bulletin. I am Damiana. I cannot wait to pour into you. I cannot wait to speak life into you. I cannot wait to empower you to create the life that you envision. Today, I want to share with you something. It's been on my heart. So here it goes, all right? So you're on this healing journey, right? I'm sure that's probably why you're here. You're here to be better. You're here to elevate. You're here to become your highest, biggest, boldest, brightest, most favorite expression of yourself. Okay? You're healing. In that self-discovery journey, you are healing. You are unlearning. You are relearning. You are repairing and figuring out boundaries around old relationships with your family and your parents and things like that too, right? I just want to leave this here for you. On the healing journey, we can be so focused on trying to change everything that was wrong with our growing up and our upbringing, right? We can focus so much on like what we didn't have when we were growing up that we're like overcompensating and like hyper focusing on what we didn't have growing up. And with that too, there's a lot of resentment and blame and anger and frustration towards our parents and our grandparents and people before us, right? Which isn't necessarily fair. I want you to choose this compassionate route of healing. Not where we're making excuses for, our parents' shortcomings, but I want you to come from a place of love and understanding with them. They did the best that they could given the knowledge that they had, right? There's a forgiveness aspect here. Same thing, you get to forgive yourself for some things. Maybe you're working towards forgiveness towards yourself. Maybe you have forgiven yourself for some things in the past. You have to be able to give someone grace and compassion because they only know what they only know. They only knew what they knew at that moment and that point in time. So they did what they did according to the knowledge that they had at hand and the resources that they had at hand, right? So while we are trying to undo all the stuff that they did to us and did for us and did, we still have to respect them and honor them and appreciate them because they put us in this position to where we are right now. And I take it even a step further too. Your ancestors, our ancestors, because they are one and the same, our ancestors fought so hard to be able to put us in this position that we're in today. Give thanks to your ancestors. Give thanks to our ancestors. Same way, give thanks to your parents or your grandparents or your aunts and uncles, whoever raised you. You have to be able to honor and respect what's come before you while still wanting, and it's okay to want, to elevate and to do differently and to be better. But you have to acknowledge their efforts. You have to acknowledge the battles that we don't even know that they were fighting. We have to acknowledge the breakthroughs that they experienced and endured that we have no knowledge about. You have to understand that they were fighting curses too, generational trauma too. And they did the best that they could with what they had. Just like you're doing the best you can with what you have. So please, I guess my call of action is call someone that you love, that you might have had a rocky relationship with in the past, or you're working on forgiveness, but just say thank you or just appreciate one little thing about what they did. Acknowledge their effort. Acknowledge them. Okay? And I'm going to just share something personally for me. I'm very out of breath. Whew, this belly. 36 weeks, y'all. Okay. For me, I recently acknowledged my mom's efforts. She was a fantastic, hardworking, single Black woman. Single mother, did the best that she could, right? She also was in law school. She became a lawyer. She became a pharmacist, pharmaceutical lawyer, now doing all these things. I had to recognize that, yes, my emotional needs were not met. Like I wasn't equipped with the tools to be able to express myself emotionally and as freely as I had needed to, right? She wasn't able to give me the support emotionally that I needed. I knew I was always loved. She told me she loved me all the time and often. I knew that, but it was just this like open line of communication about our emotions that we didn't have. We have it now, but we didn't have it when I was growing up. So that for me was a big missing link that I have forgiven her for, and I've worked through and dealt with, and we're in a great place, right? But I had to acknowledge her recently and check myself too. Like, thank you. Thank you for going through and enduring and pushing through and sacrificing all this stuff, that I have this privilege and luxury to worry about my emotions, right? To let my emotions flood and come and go freely, because she didn't have that privilege to. She just had to get stuff done. She was making sure we provided for. We had a roof over our head. We had clothes. We were loved, right? She wasn't really worried about if we emotionally were like, okay, if we could freely express and this, right? Like, she's a very closed off emotionally, like from her emotions. She is. So she wasn't like that with us. And I didn't know how to do it either, but I needed it. And I had to understand that she was breaking her own cycles. She was doing something that was never been done before either. She was the first person in my family to graduate from college, from the university. And from there went on to go and get another intricate degree in law, like in doctorate and all this stuff too. So I had to check myself, right? Because I was angry for a while, like couldn't do it, right? Like I just was mad emotionally that she wasn't able to be what I needed her to be. So I'm making sure that I'm that for my girls, for my 2-year-old, for my 3-year-old, and for this baby coming very soon. But at the end of the day, I had to acknowledge her and give her thanks, because I have this privilege now, and I have this there's no pressure for me, because she's worked so hard to set me up for success, that yes, maybe emotions were not at the forefront of her mind, because she had other things and other goals and other visions and other things that were a priority over emotional intelligence. And it's okay, right? I love who I am. I love myself, and I love her. And we have this really beautiful understanding now, and all this forgiveness and compassion and love for one another and respect. So all this to say, if you're still with me, thank you. Give thanks to our ancestors. Acknowledge the people before you, okay? And if this is something that is difficult for you to do, reach out. I'm here, all right? I love you, love you.